All right. This is my fourth blog. I unfortunately missed last week's. Wasn't on top of it. So, yeah, it's a good place to start. My 2019 goals all revolve around two concepts. Those being discipline and consistency. Now, being consistently disciplined throughout my life, throughout anyone's life for that matter, it's freaking hard. Discipline is. Oh, got stuff on my face there. Discipline is one of the hardest um, traits to have. It's very, very important, especially in my life. I am coming to find out how important discipline is because I am a very much, kind of all or nothing type guy. Now, what I mean by that is, when I wake up, the first thing that I do in that morning, kind of sets the tone for the rest of my day. So, for example, if I wake up and head to the gym, so I go straight to the gym, work out, kind of tackle the harder tasks that I have that day, then my day, is a lot more productive. If I start the day off productive, crushing it, then I tend to have a productive day all around, right? Now, on the opposite side of things, if I am to, sleep in, which I kind of did a lot last week, not gonna lie. Um, if I sleep in or stay in my bed a little longer than normal, don't really get myself up and going for the day, then I noticed my days are not as near not as near productive as they are when I start it off working out. Now, this kind of ties into a little bit of my addictive patterns that I've had throughout my life. Looking back at it, I had some problems with alcohol, and really like all drugs, to an extent. Nothing super hard like cocaine, meth, acid, heroin, just kind of your typical Mary Jane, and alcohol. I dabbled in. No, it's not the time or place to dabble and list off my rap sheet of drugs. However, I noticed that once I started drinking or smoking, if I started in the morning, my breakfast beer, if you will, then that just set the tone for the rest of my day. I would continue to drink and drink and drink, and often it led to me passing out. Being a dumbass, I could not be disciplined enough once I start to stop. So then it would, that time frame would just be that day, drink, 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 smoke, 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 and till I go to sleep, wake up, and then it would be a new day, and it would then kind of restart and say, okay, today is going to be better. I'm going to be sober. So that was last year, the year before. Not last year so much with the drinking, more like 2-3 years ago. That's all done. But it's good to be able to recognize that in yourselves, your specific patterns, because everyone's mind is different. The way they respond to things, the way you do things, it's totally specific to you, and you're the expert on yourself. Now, that's one reason why I had a difficult time in therapy, is that I know myself obviously a hell of a lot better than my therapist, and he was a great therapist. Nothing against him. I just know what's best for myself, and this could come across as arrogant. And I didn't agree with his treatment plan that he wanted me to go to AA, and that was the only thing that would then allow me to, get better. I was like, fuck that, dude. I knew that there was another way, and I found it. I went a different route, and Yeah, so what I really wanted to talk about today is something that is very important in everyone's life because everyone is looking for it. Everyone wants it. Everyone is looking to possess it and have this throughout their lives. Now, a lot of you could be thinking that what I'm about to say is called money, resources, all of that. That's great, and that's not what I'm thinking of though. So, what I want to talk to you about, everyone, whoever's listening, is about fulfillment. Now, everyone, every single person living right now is striving to and wants to be fulfilled. So, how do you do that? It looks different for everyone. What fulfills one person might be not fulfilling in the least to another person. So, what is fulfillment? How do you get to that level and become fulfilled? It's hard. Bottom line, it is hard. It's not hard to be fulfilled, so to speak. It could be difficult to recognize specific things in your life that you need to have on a day-to-day basis so you can feel fulfilled at the end of the day. This is something that I've been thinking a lot about, especially since after I got laid off at my job about 6 months ago. It was, I kept trying to essentially trick myself into thinking that I was fulfilled, right? So essentially, I would tell everyone that, oh, this is a great opportunity. I get to spend time with my daughter now every day. I don't have to go to work. I don't have to wake up at a certain time. This is shortly after I had, lost my job. So I was telling everyone, oh yeah, I'm going to be a lot more fulfilled now because I can spend all this time with my daughter, right? That was great. Don't get me wrong, I was fulfilled for the first few days, first week I would say, and then I started to feel all this shame and guilt associated with not being able to provide an income, some resources for my family. I wasn't able to financially provide, so I was not feeling fulfilled. Although I was spending all of this time with my daughter and having a great time building that relationship and connecting again, we hadn't been able to do that on that level because I was so busy with work, working upwards of 40, 50-hour weeks. Now I have all this time. I was able to, spend a lot of that with her. However, 2, 3 weeks after not having a job, I started feeling like, what am I? I was this, breadwinner for my family, providing all these financial resources for us to do these really cool experiences and have memories, pay the bills. And now I was just able to, my time was my greatest resource, and I thought that I'll be fulfilled just by way of being there for my family, right? So it was very, tough balance, and still is a tough balance because, I've been able to identify key elements that make myself fulfilled on a day-to-day basis, and I'm still in the process of creating that perfect structure, if you will, that allows me at the end of the day to feel fulfilled, and then at the end of the week, and so what I did is I had to break down my day into different segments. Right, I'm very anal, very OCD, and I'm a big believer in checklists. I love checking boxes once I finish tasks, and seeing my productivity on paper, all this tasks that I've accomplished just lights me up, fuels my fire. At the end of the day, looking back at a list of tasks, seeing them all checked off is like, it's like one of the coolest things for me. It fulfills me. Now, that fulfills me personally because I can look back at that list and then, okay, I was productive. What did I do? Look back at the list, check, 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 check. I did all this shit. Freaking great. What's next? So whatever you need to do personally, whether that's a specific checklist, or if it's just a list of things you need to do throughout the day. Whatever system that you have, that first you need to identify what does fulfill me. I know with me, I need to be providing for my family, providing some sort of financial income for them. I need to be spending time with them, on a daily basis. So a lot of times I kind of either do one or the other, and I'm on those extremes for quite some time, and I have a difficult time balancing that out. So balancing out my family time, my work time. I got a gym membership last week, or 2 weeks ago now. I've only been once. However, it's progress. I got a fucking gym membership. It's been on my to-do list for the longest time. Got it. Now I'm gonna start. I need to start implementing a workout routine, which comes with my goal of ultimately gaining the gym membership. So it could take some time, a lot of trial and error, as it did for me, as far as finding out what fulfills you. Once you do that, what I'd recommend is honing in on one specific item. So, what does fulfill you? What do you know fulfills you? For me, it's helping others. I get no greater enjoyment in my life when I know that what I'm doing is not only benefiting myself, but it's also benefiting others. So that's just who I am. I've always known that about myself. Ever since I started working at my first treatment program, I learned that, oh, hell, this is dope. The satisfaction of someone bettering themselves and pushing through barriers that they didn't think they could ever get over is just so fulfilling to me and rewarding. So find out what fulfills you, go after it, get it, and I'll see you next week.